Hello, 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 folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You know what time it is. It's Wednesday night. It's time for the Bold Prediction Sports Media podcast. And as tradition, he's Mr. KC from the 813. I'm that dude with the beard. Ladies and gentlemen, we love having you here. Thank you for being with us another Wednesday. How's it going, Mr. KC?
Oh, it is doing great. We are officially almost done with this wait. We got football back tomorrow. How much more excited can we possibly be? Preseason is almost here. Well, pretty much is.
It's here. Yeah, Hall of Fame game is pretty much the preemptive kickoff of the season, if you will. And if you're a Jets fan, you might put a little $5 on it and win you a little change. Might as well start early, get your feet wet, see how it's going with that. But what you think about the game, Mr. Casey? Let's just dive right into that real quick.
Well, that game is a real questionable one. It's the problem with these games is it's so preseason-y that it's really a battle of who's got the biggest depth chart in this game.
Hmm.
You're really looking for it there. Then the Jets got a pretty deep team. The Browns they're more solid on the first string, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and that's what I was going to say. This game is just going to show how bad Cleveland still needs help. So we'll get to that. That's a conversation for another time. We're not going to waste time talking about this garbage.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hold on. Well, I believe we have the correct term. We
right, the
won't
shit
read it
ball.
out loud, but
Oh, ooh, the
it
number
is.
two time.
Yeah, it is there for y'all to see and enjoy. And don't
Oh
forget,
yeah.
we are your number one place for bold sports predictions, because this is going to be an ugly game, but it's been so long. I'm going to enjoy it one way or the other.
Thank you. And that's all I'm saying. I finally get to see the boys back out in the yard getting it done. Uh, give you that feeling of nostalgia when you was out there playing. It's time for football, folks. It is time. But before we dive into more football here, let's do a little recap here. We're gonna talk about a particular fight we had mentioned on Saturday. We got coming up August 5th, which is Nate Diaz versus Jake Wicked Paul.
Mm, what an
And let,
exciting fight!
and I really think it's gonna be. I don't know how exciting it's gonna be, man. I really think that this is something that Nate Diaz shouldn't have done. Like, these MMA fighters are notorious athletes. I give them all the credit in the world. They're dangerous in their realm. But, dude, when you're stepping into a boxing ring, I don't care if you're the most boxingest UFC dude, bro. This is still a whole different atmosphere. Uh, I think Jake Paul wins this thing and probably wins it easy.
And if you look towards today's sponsor, MGM Sports Bets, check the description for your link to sign up for free sports betting. It is a heavy favorite for Jake Paul. We're talking
Mhm.
it's plus 400 for Nate Diaz, and that really attracts me. I'm not gonna lie. If you're gonna place a unit for an underdog, I think this is one of those best underdog opportunities to actually score. If you look at Jake Paul is bigger than Nate Diaz, and that's what a lot of and younger. Let's not forget that. He's taken a lot less damage than Nate Diaz has ever taken. But if you look at who he fought the last time, Fury, Fury was also lighter than him too. And Nate Diaz not having to worry about cutting weight is a nice way to have Nate Diaz too.
Yeah, because I mean, he's gonna give you everything he got behind those punches. But my only thing is, like I said, man, the ounces in those gloves are different, and it takes a little bit more power to get to your promised land, if you will, man. And as much as I like Nate Diaz, in almost any UFC match, I would probably pick him. This is just something I can't ride with him on. I'm so sorry. Jake Paul's gonna win this thing, dude, and right when he's but if Nate Diaz do manage to win and you put some dollars down, you will come up like Garfield walking into a lasagna factory. I mean,
Hmm.
it could possibly be on. So I mean, I might drop a little tenner on Nate just because
Yeah,
I'm not crazy enough to with these odds to put real money on Paul. I mean, it's just not enough return. But
yeah. And that's
yeah,
something that we definitely want to touch on when you're placing your sports bets. Is a lot of people like to pick these heavy favorites, right? It's something you see someone up plus 400 or minus 350, which is what Jake Paul is at right now. And what that means is you got to bet $350 to make $100. Now,
hmm
sometimes this does make sense. If you look at Money Mayweather, it's not much money returned, but it's guaranteed money. And
right.
that's what they're trying to tease you with these odds, in my opinion. They want to tell you that this is a safe money bet. Don't be afraid. You're not going to make a lot of money, but it's a nice, quick little return, and that's a great way to lose your money for not very much in
hmm
return.
Folks, I couldn't have said it better. That's exactly what it is. That's what I'm saying. It's not enough return on Jake Paul winning this fight for me, but I mean, there is more than enough with the risk of going with Diaz. Like I said, it ain't got
Right.
to be at thousands of dollars. It ain't got to be hundreds. Throw you a few dollars on there. Turn your 10 into 50, or turn your 50 into a hundred and some change. You know what I'm saying? Like do
Well,
what you're gonna do.
yeah,
But
50's turning you into 200.
right,
It's a nice little
couple
return
hundred.
if Nate Diaz can be the man that I want him to be. I'm really hoping for a nice little Stockton slap somewhere in the mix,
Ooh,
and I expect to see it, and I believe he'll deliver it. And I got a feeling it's going to land. I think people are sleeping on the Nate Diaz. Out of all the UFC boxers Jake Paul has fought, has the most boxing experience, and
true.
that's something we can't just skip over. And he's ready to show it, in my opinion.
And he might be, man. The dude is he's without a shadow of a doubt BMF, through and through. Um,
Well, kind
I
of.
don't take nothing from him, man. Like I said, I'm even gonna put a few dollars on him, even if it's in a losing effort, just because I know how dangerous he is. Even though my mind is telling me Paul's gonna win, I'm thinking if Nate Diaz can shock the world and shock me and put a few dollars in my pocket at the same time, why
Make it that
not?
much even more glorious. And I figure, and I agree with you. I wouldn't put a big unit on this game. You definitely want to bet, on a very comfortable loss, is what I would say.
Right. Something you was gonna spend anyway, you wouldn't mind not having.
Yeah, because it is
That's
definitely the reason these odds are what they are is because, there's a lot of advantages for Paul in this fight. But I just think a lot of people are trying to look at the fact that he's going back to that UFC well and not a pro boxer. And all I'm going to say is Tommy Fury's not much of a pro boxer either, and he
he's
still got it
not
done.
though. He did.
And he still got it done.
He
So
did.
if and
But that
uh,
goes to show you, like I said, experience in said sport and actually doing said sport. So that might be the key difference between the Paul and Nate Diaz situation. Even though Nate Diaz does have the experience, but you haven't been just straight up boxing in ever. Like since when, you know? So that's the only interesting thing
that's,
about it, because
that's
dude, yeah, if you put $50, Nate Diaz get a KO, TKO, or technical decision, dude, that's gonna get you 325. Dude, they're at plus 550 on that kind of bet, and that's the kind of bet you might want to put. Like I said, even if you don't do 50, you might want to put about 15 on it, 20, whatever you're comfortable losing. Because if you win, you quadrupled your investment.
right. And those are the kind of bets that people that bet often kind of really look for. This is where the money's really to be made if you're super confident in the Nate Diaz.
Right.
Kind of like I feel I've just it hit me today. It really came. I was looking at it. I
Ooh.
was like, I see it coming. The fortune teller here is
Oh,
telling you, give me that
he's
Nate
selling me.
Diaz.
He's trying to sell me.
I
It might
really
work.
am. I'm
It
just trying to make
might
your ten
work.
dollars do a little work for you instead of
No,
you
you're not
working
lying.
for your $10. Is all I'm
Because
saying.
even if you do just a
That's all
straight
we're out
bet,
here to do, folks.
fight result, like I said, that 50 get you 200. $300, like you said, plus 550. Although if you put 100 on this thing, well, that's $525 right there
Yes,
off a
sir.
$100 bet. Good night. Yeah, like I said, it might be it. Folks, we're gonna get into this AFC South because Mr. Casey, he's the dude who just back in the
Made
day
you lose
he
a
the
hundred
one,
bucks to.
right, he the one who comes to your door and sells you the Tupperware before Tupperware is revolutionized, and then next thing you know, when your package don't show up, you're like, well, god dang, man, it was just such a good sales pitch. I had to put that money down.
But I
And
will say, Coca-Cola had that same sales pitch, and it worked for the people that invested in them. So
true,
don't be afraid to put in a little
true.
$5. And if this is your first time signing up for MGM Sports
Oh
betting,
yeah.
uh, make sure you use the link in the description. We get a little bit from it. You get a little bonus. It's all nice, to have fun.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Win-win for everybody. And like you said, put you a nice $20 bet down. I do 10 on each kind of odds if you want an ADS to win. Because what's the worst you can do is lose $20, or you can make about 105.
Mm. Yeah, I would almost put on Nate Diaz to win, and then even Nate Diaz for the knockout.
That's what I'm saying. You need both. See, you got to do
Yeah.
both. And like I said, if you got a 50 ball, put 25 on each. That's what
Mm.
I would do. Because either way, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be a slobber knocker. Thank you, Jr. and the rest of the world back in the day. But yeah, folks, we're gonna dive into this AFC South before we keep getting too caught up on this next super fight to come up, I guess you could say, or at least highly touted. People are ready for it. The AFC South in the
Yes.
NFL is
Yes.
becoming day by day
Yes.
more interesting,
Sir.
especially since I've been seeing some things out of Colts practice. I've been hearing some rumblings, and this thing could be a little bit more interesting than I originally thought. But at the same time, it's the AFC South, folks. So it could just be the complete runaway for
Mm.
the Prince, like like expected. So we gonna see, Mr. Casey. What we gonna do, man? We gotta dive in.
Yeah,
Good
let's
night.
dive straight into it. Let's go ahead and start with the prince that is promised with the old Jaguars
I said we
themselves.
start with the best of the cream of the crizzy of the AF Sissy. Let's do it.
Oh, and an interesting game, speaking of it, to start the season. I don't know if I like this. Looking at this schedule actually too much. Ooh.
Jags, let's go ahead and just get to the nitty gritty. Let's tell the truth here. You start off 1-0. You're beating the Colts. That's just gonna happen. You got to assert your authority over the South early. I don't care how good the other boy look right now, even though he has been looking good, throwing a couple 50-yard bombs, a couple 60-yard bombs, But it's training camp. You should be able to do that. Give me the Prince. You
Yeah,
start off 1-0.
I'm gonna I'm gonna two times that one. I'm right there with you. I'm kind of high on the Colts this year, but nah, telling you week one versus the Jags.
Not week one versus the Jags high. I'm not that high. Not on them.
Yeah.
Week two, and like I said, we just settling into reality. You're gonna lose to the king of the NFL, but it's all right. The Prince is gonna have another good showing. He's gonna show why he's the Prince in the AFC. But you move to 1-1, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of life. But things get better for you, and things are looking up. You play the Houston Texans the following week, and you get you another dub. You move to 2-1 on the season, strong 2-1. Mr. KC, did I just see the right signal on that? You just double
Yes,
that up,
sir.
another one.
Double that up.
Well, yeah. So you're 2-1 right now. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Because next week you get to play the Atlanta Falcons, and I picked the Falcons to lose that game, even though I'm high on the Falcons and on their schedule. But you're gonna lose this game, Jags. You go 3-1. You get another one, and then you move on to October 8th which is another game I think you're gonna win. You get to play the Buffalo Bills, and I already picked the Bills losing this game when I went over the Bills schedule. I got you at 4-1, and Mr. KC, who often tends to believe in Philip Rivers, is probably gonna go with the Bills. But we gotta see. What who you got, Mr. KC?
Yeah, I hate to break the Jags fans' heart, but am going to pick
Going
the
with Philly
Bills here.
Riv.
But I think this is definitely a closer game than most people predict. And this is probably one of those games that we look back and say, look, Beard was right about this one all along. So I wouldn't be
That it does
surprised.
tend to happen. But hey, I'm not gloating. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just watching and giving it the eye test, just like any other man could do if he really wants to pay attention. Um, Next game, you get you get the Colts again. It's sweep season. We're just gonna go ahead and move on to that. You're 5-1 on my end. Mr. KC just doubled another one on that. Dropped the Khaled, another one. Then you move on to the Saints, another one. You move to 6-1 on the season. You're pretty much dominating the South. This thing is looking pretty good, dude. Uh, Okay, after the Saints, you got the Steelers, and I think did I have the Steelers winning this game? I think I do. I don't think the Jags will win this. This is one of the games I think I said Kenny
Yeah.
Pickett needed to prove itself. Yeah, so you moved to 6-2, Jags. I got you losing to the Steelers.
Oh, that'd be 6-3 for you.
No, I only got them losing twice
Oh
so
no,
far,
actually, I think I'm. Yeah, hold on. I
or I
think.
should have them at 5-2. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there we go.
No, no, we're at. Yeah,
You got one more loss than I do because you picked the Bills.
yeah. And this was the game that I think we had actually disagreed on during the Steelers picks because I would go with the Jaguars in this game.
Right. Yep. I know I'm going with KP in now. So Kenny Pickett, like I said, you beat the Prince, like I said, because you got to make your showing to show that you're gonna be the seventh best quarterback in the AFC
Mm,
right now. He's gonna be top 10. He's gonna work on it. The next game we got the 49ers versus the Jags, and I'm not Mr. KC. I'm not as high on the Niners, and I believed I picked the Jags when we went over their roster because it's the Prince. These Jags are loaded
mm.
almost at this point. They're 6-2. Mr. KC, who you got?
I'm going Niners. It's a better roster. I would say
How?
though that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the better quarterback in that matchup,
Without a
and
doubt.
it's not a. And you have the right to say how for
Right,
that
because because
question.
because the Jags got great wide receivers, and the
They
only
do have
person I
great.
can think of is Debo Samuel on the other end.
Ayake is pretty good. He's
Mm,
pretty good.
okay, I ain't gonna argue with that. He's decent, but I think the Jags they still
And they got Kittle.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
well
when he's not blocking
but which Kittle? Yeah, I'm about to say, are we getting blocking
or
Kittle because
hurt,
Brock Purdy and them playing, or
right,
which Kittle we getting? So
right.
I I got the Jags. There's too many questions for me with the Niners. I got the Jags.
You're almost
six and
selling me
two.
on it.
Dude, I don't. Yeah, hey, stick to your guns. You might be right. This might be one of those. Next game we got though, and I'm sure this is a consensus pick. The Jags moved to 7-2 because you're going to beat the Titans. There's just you're going to sweep the Titans this year. I should just add another win now for conversation's sake, but we'll get to it. Um, you get the Texans again. That's another dub. You're 8-2. I got you 8-2 right now, and you moving into what I feel like is going to be the biggest win of the season for y'all
Mm,
because you're going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals December 4th, prime time in Jacksonville.
mm. You
Mr.
know,
KC.
I'm gonna pick the Bengals, but dear Lord, do I hope you are right. That would just make my day.
Yes, sir. I thoroughly believe the Prince will get that win. Dude, these Jags are going to be serious, man. It's like I said because this schedule it started off looking kind of rough, but as it goes on, it's like, these are games that you're probably going to walk away with handedly. So,
It's a
like I said,
pretty
after,
cupcake finish after this Bengals game.
oh yeah, dude, because after that, like I said, I got them winning that game. After that, I got them going to 10-2 because you're going to beat the Browns. Like it's Cleveland. That's another one.
Right.
And then moving on here, we got the Jags versus the Ravens. And like I said, depending on which Ravens you get, I'm still going to pick the Ravens now. I think the Jags go to 10-3. You lose this game. But after that, you pretty much win out.
Yeah, I'd give them a win out as well. I'm going to agree with you. They lose to the Ravens, and yeah, I would say they win out against the Buccaneers, Panthers,
Yeah.
and Titans. That's a pretty. I mean, that's like let's guarantee the Jags a playoff spot. Like, how
Yeah,
much more can you do?
like, let's make sure they get in there now. So I got them at what? So that leaves us at 14-3 for Jacksonville, which will be, in my mind, pretty much almost accurate because I got them finishing maybe
No,
about
you
three
two and
games
four.
behind Kansas City. Huh? You said what, Mr. KC?
I think I had you down at 13-4. I had you down at 13-4, and I've got 11-6.
Oh yeah, it is 13-4. I'm sorry, you're sure right. I said that backwards. Dyslexic. But yeah, Jacksonville,
Well,
you're
you're
gonna
good.
win the South. This is
Yeah,
pretty much it.
and that really should be enough to win the South. Yeah, that's got to be
That's
a game winner for the
10
Jags, I would
wins should
imagine.
really win the South,
Yeah,
but dude, the Jags win the South handily
if I think 8 and 9 could probably walk away with this
in the South.
division.
Sure could. Good night, Trevor
They're the
Prince.
South.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. We like the Jags. I think it's a consensus pick on that end, and we almost finished with the same
Yeah,
record.
yeah, it was pretty close. We
Yeah.
zigged and zagged a couple times, but besides that, it was pretty spot on. I think I feel
So
very
who is
confident
gonna
in
be next on the South Trout?
on the South Trout next. Let's talk about the team that had the
Southern
very.
Fish.
What'd you say?
You know how they used to say Southern smoke in the song? I said Southern Fish.
Southern Fish. Let's go to probably the most disappointing team in the division.
Oh goodness. Okay, I know where we're going. And luckily you don't have to pay tax. Oh no, no, you said most disappointing. You do have to pay taxes here, ladies and gentlemen. I thought we were going to a different place. Yep. Whew, that's why I had to think about it. The most disappointing place. I recently passed the
Yeah.
stadium on my road trip to Georgia, and it just even looked sad. Like it was so gloomy in the city, dude. Let's just get to it. Mr. Casey, I'm gonna just say this one thing. I'm just so disgusted by what the Titans have become. Really, what they always been. I've never been a fan, but I've always had respect for certain players, and it just seems like this team is just devoted on not winning. And I don't know how it is. Maybe they
Yeah.
regret the Derrick Henry contract, or I don't know what it is that's going on, but it's not a good time to be a
Well,
Titan fan.
I think it's hard to be disappointed in the Derrick Henry contract. I feel like for as a if I'm gonna pick a guy on the team to pay, it's definitely Derrick Henry.
Well,
'Cause
yeah,
he's
the
been
only one that's
carrying this
worth it.
team for a long time now.
Oh yeah, at least the last 5 years for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's they've gotten close, and I really even like Mike Vrabel as a head coach. I like his style, and I think he's got potential. But man, that AJ Brown trade
The
absolutely
craziest in
destroyed this
history.
team.
Man,
Destroyed it.
man. You want to talk about a terrible trade, dude. It reminds me of when they, I mean, it's winning for the Eagles, just, absolute travesty for the Titans. Dude, like, it's not even close, like, the return on that. But anyway, let's just jump into it. You start off 0-1. You're not going to beat Derek Carr and say, this is NFC Derek Carr. He's going to beat the Titans. He probably would have beat the Titans in Las Vegas. So, you're starting off 0-1, and unfortunately, you move to 0-2 because you're going to play the Chargers next. You're even going to lose to the Browns. And I thought I would never say a team is losing to the Browns, but I think this is one of the few wins that I gave them.
Yeah, and we hate the Browns. This podcast is disgusted with the Browns franchise,
Disgusting, dude.
and we're still going to pick them to win this game.
You were still going to write because the Titans are that terrible. You're going to lose to the Bengals. That's what you're 0-4 now.
Yep.
Good night. The Colts. This is the only interesting game so far because does the rookie have enough to beat these Titans? And probably I'm gonna go with the Colts here, and the Titans move to 0-5.
I'm giving the Titans the first win here. Everyone celebrate! Yay! 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 1-4. Look, I'd feel better if Jonathan Taylor was guaranteed playing with them, and I'm surprised he's not more motivated to play with this young quarterback. It'd be not. I'm high on Richardson. I think he could ball out, but I'm just gonna lean towards the Titans on this first one.
Nothing wrong with that. I got them going 0-5, but we're just indifferent on that one. Then next week, ladies and gentlemen, you move to 0-6 because you play Big Trust and the Baltimore Ravens. You're getting smacked. Then the week following, you're playing the Falcons. You're getting smacked again.
Mm.
So you're 0-7. And then you're going to play the Pittsburgh Steelers prime time. You're going to get smacked by Kenny Pickett in prime time. You're 0-8. And then you get to play then you play the Buccaneers. And as trash as the Buccaneers are, you know what, Tennessee, you get your first win here. You're 1-8. You beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm going with you on that one. I'm just so worried. The Titans don't really have the quarterback situation answered either, but they're in a slightly better
situation. Right.
Not by much. You're splitting hairs.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Where are we at? Okay, you beat the Bucks, then boom, you're back to your ways. You lose to the Jags. You're 1-9 on the season. But lo and behold, you get to play a team that's worse than you. You get to play the Carolina Panthers, and you pick up your second win of the season. You're 3-9, Tennessee. 2-9, Tennessee.
And you know what? I believe when I did the Panthers, I might have picked the Titans to win.
Maybe.
But in the spirit of tonight, I'm picking the Panthers to win this.
He's in the spirit of tonight. Hey, do what you gotta do, man. Oh man. I got the Colts winning again. Let's go ahead and take that on up to 2-10.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give the Colts the win here. I did have the Titans winning the first game, but I believe they split on the series. So this is when Anthony Richardson's got everything together and they're clicking.
Right. And they're rolling. Right. Then I got you losing again to Miami. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback in that situation because you guys wouldn't take advantage anyway. Mm-hmm. Then you get to play the Texans. And I actually have you losing this game. You're going to lose to the Texans, which moves you to your 12th loss on the season. Then you play Geno and them. Oh, my God. You move another L.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, do you split with the Texans?
That is really the biggest thought in my mind right now. It's the only thought left, actually. Because the last game's already decided.
It's decided.
They don't.
You know what? You don't. Yeah, I was going to say you don't. You lose to the Texans twice.
There's no reason for them to win at this point. There's nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tennessee Titans will finish 2-15 in the South, according to my measurements.
And this is going to be one that bold prediction really stands behind because we both hit that 2-15 mark. Couple, not there's one or two. There's not a lot of difference,
Right. God.
this gives them nice contention to fix all their problems in the draft next season
with a
with
quarterback.
with a quarterback, and they could be
And
right
this
back
ain't
in
this not a shot at Malik Willis, dude. I don't think they drafted
it
him
is
knowing that
one.
he wasn't going to be ready, and like he's not going to be a commodity. Like I
Well,
almost don't know why you did it.
depth.
Okay, well that could be the only reason.
Yeah. Now then you got the Will Levis problem, which is still another like
Right.
you're taking the quarterback that's the fifth best available in the draft, and that's hard to do and be successful sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes you can hit. We've seen Tom Brady, Russell Wilson was a third round pick.
Right.
Quarterbacks get passed on and become successful and have some careers, but
Right.
you definitely want to be picking between like the first
First and
pick.
18,
Yeah,
man, you need
and
that.
you're going to be fighting the Arizona Cardinals for that. And I knew it was going to. I honestly knew it was going to be rough for the Titans, but I was expecting more like 4 or 5 wins, maybe 6. Like they're a scrappy team, and Vrabel's a good
They
coach.
are, dude, but
And do you want to
scrappy
try to
ain't enough.
tackle Derrick Henry? Like I don't.
I mean, you don't, but you do what you got to do because you're playing the Titans. You can't lose this game.
Yeah. I mean, in
Dude,
fairness, I probably don't want to try to tackle Tommy Townsend either. So,
man.
you know,
Dude, so in all reality, yeah, dude. I
right?
understand.
Like it's not even just, but especially Derrick Henry. I'm
Especially
really
that
not
kid.
signing him.
Well,
The
that's just
paycheck's gotta, be a lot bigger
this
than
thing,
like a
yeah.
Tommy Townsend paycheck
Oh
to
yeah.
tackle him.
I need one of them Denzel equalizer checks. I
Yeah,
need to make sure, yeah.
yeah.
I
Because
gotta
for a
have it.
solid 10, I would probably try Tommy Townsend. Like I
Oh,
think I'm
bro,
giving.
I'm giving him everything.
Yeah. Yeah, may not be successful, but I'm giving him a shot. Derrick
Well,
Henry, like I'm gonna need it's gonna be a
I need a
bag
minimum. I need a minimum of 65, man. I gotta have
and some kind
65,
of life insurance policy
man.
because we both got
And I
kids.
mean that money's outside of what you got to pay for my recovery. That got to be included in the contract. Everything on you, basically.
Mm,
I'm just
right.
providing the show like a performer should.
Yeah,
Dude, and I need a bottle before I do it.
that ain't no lie. 'Cause this is ugh,
Oh man,
what a
good night.
monster.
Well, luckily we leave it to the pros, and they'll be enough to keep them at 2-15.
Yeah, man, I believe that's when we hit them both on the same spot. I feel real good about those picks.
I think that's the 4th time we've done it,
Yeah,
something like that.
out of 32, which is a pretty low rate, but that just
Right.
lets you know that like man, it's a selective group. They
Ooh,
get selected that way for a reason.
right.
Uh, everyone was high on the Broncos last year, and look what happened to our prediction on that. You know,
Spot on.
yeah, spot on. Now I do get them wrong. Arizona Cardinals, looking at you, buddy. You know, Baker Mayfield with the Carolina Panthers. Thanks a lot, buddy. Can't can't highlight that clip, can I?
Oh, dude, I
They're
already know,
dumb.
man. Did any of my teams not? Well, no, all of my teams I
You
picked
hit on the
finished above.
Jags.
Yeah, I hit on the Jags.
Yeah,
I hit on the Steelers making above 500. I said they would come back.
you were pretty
Uh,
positive on Gino.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm pretty confident. Yeah, I stick next to my guy, and even New England. I said they wouldn't go finish under 500, and they didn't.
Yeah, I
So
think we both got the Rams game, the Rams.
right. No,
Last,
the Rams was my only one. Yeah, I had them higher, way
yeah,
higher than
yeah, you
clearly
were.
I should have.
I
I thought
tried
they
to
were
talk
going to
you
win
out
the
of.
division. Dude, you did. You really did.
I was like, no,
You
that
really did.
like you were trying to talk me out of the Lions. It just doesn't work sometimes. But hey, I think the Lions. I was satisfied with how the Lions.
Dude, it was more impressive than what the Rams did. So
Yeah, like I'm not gonna
kudos to
take
you,
that as
sir.
an L. I'm just gonna. It's like that's a
Just a
draw.
little unfortunate.
Yeah,
Just a little unfortunate.
not as successful as we need it to be to call it a success. But for the Lions, you can't call that a failure.
Right. You right. Exactly. You just went, huh, well, yeah, it's not too bad.
None too bad. Hey,
Yeah.
we're building blocks.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Right. Not Jenga yet. We're still stacking.
yeah. Still, we're not ready. The kid keeps shaking the table.
Oh
Oh
goodness.
man. All right, let's pull up the next team. Let's get we touched on a little interesting excitement of looking at this team and the potential for this quarterback. And I really think that his schedule is going to play a heavy role in how I predict his season to go. So I'm really
All
interested to
right,
see
A
where we're at
Rich.
with him.
Well, I can see how this thing might start off for you. But let's talk about it, Colts, because well, you was a 4-win team last year and you beat the champions. So I can't say that, I treat you as underdogs. Because, dude, as long as you can beat the Chiefs in a given Sunday, if they give Josh Allen him credit, I don't see why y'all shouldn't get the same respect. So,
That's
matter of
all I'm
fact,
saying.
let's go into it with a fresh mindset. Week 1, you're taking a nasty L, though. I'm sorry, you're gonna lose to the Jags. That's just happening. No offense, it's gonna happen. You play the Texans next, and this is the real interesting matchup. Two young quarterbacks
Banger.
dueling and bruling. Um, I'm still gonna go with the Texans at home though. I'm gonna go with the Texans in this one, but you probably split this one. You
I'm
probably split
actually
this one.
giving this one to the Colts.
Okay, no problem with that.
I think
I
the Colts
understand.
were a little bit more established of a team, a little bit better of a franchise overall. And I think that's
Well, dude, you see the owner in them comments lately, dude. They still got that front office turmoil.
yeah,
They Ursay's always been shaky, or whatever the
he's
boy name is, dude. He's
he's a
crazy.
yeah. Ursay's he's an
He's
interesting owner.
crazy, dude.
I
He is
like him.
insane. I
I'm a
do
fan.
too in certain situations, but dude, he is insane,
Yeah, he reminds me of if I was a billionaire, I see a lot of myself in him. So that's all I know.
oh goodness. Okay, well, I got you at 1-1 right now, Colts. Which ain't too bad. Like I said, it ain't too bad. You get the win right here over the Texans the first
Oh, you
time,
no, you were 0-2.
huh?
Oh,
No, I
you're going
picked the
Colts
Colts
over
over the
Texans.
Texans for the
Oh,
first.
okay,
Yeah,
I had that wrong. Sorry.
yeah, no, the Colts. Yeah, they losing to the Jags, and then they get the win on the Colts. I mean, on the Texans. I said on the Colts. Because they're gonna lose the big trust in the Ravens the next week.
Yeah.
So you'll be 1-2 on my end, 2-1 on Mister KC's end. No, 2-2 on your end. 1-2. No, we're both 1-2 now, right?
Yeah, we're the same
Okay.
1-2.
Yes, sir. Then after that, you get to play the Rams, and I actually like you in this Rams game. I
It's
think your
interesting.
defense is more physical. I think you'll even do enough on offense to actually just win the game, dude. You got one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Your secondary has never been really nothing to sneeze at. So, dude, I actually like the Colts in that game,
Yeah,
especially based off that.
and I think this might be like an upset alert, kind of almost early in the season, because I don't think a lot of people would pick the Colts in that game. But I'm right there with you. I think the Colts are going to upset the Rams in this one.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And then you get another win on Tennessee. We've already talked about that. I got you at 3-2 right now, Colts,
Yep.
and it seems like after this next L, the worst is probably over. Until I can see the rest of the bottom. You lose to the Jags again because they're gonna sweep you, but it's nothing to be mad at. These are the perennial. These are the Chiefs of the South. So I got you at 3-3 right now. But the blessings that come, you get to play the Browns right after. Boom, another win. Mr.
Yep.
Casey, yeah,
Yep.
he said another one. You move to 4-3. You play the Colts right here, and
The
I mean, I
Saints.
said the Saints, yeah. This this is the interesting matchup, dude. Because I honestly think the Colts can win this game, dude. But I just if I pick the Saints to win this game the first time, I'm gonna do Mr. KC said. In the spirit of today, I'm gonna go with the Colts here because
Mm,
I think that this is enough time for Richardson to really be getting better, and you've played enough good teams to really been through the fire enough adversity. Then you played enough teams where you should have won to know how it feels to get those close wins. Because then after the Saints, you play the Panthers, and that's another win.
Yeah, I'm going to give the Saints the win over the Colts. I think Alvin Kamara will probably be back by then.
I don't know. He's
Maybe if
petitioning,
he
but
could be the week after, or a couple more. Who knows? And then, but I still like Derek Carr's just in the NFC. This is a game for him.
yeah, I know. But we're gonna see. That's what I'm saying. I think I might have picked the Saints the first time, but in the spirit of the day. So where do you have the Colts right now? Then.
I'm at 4-4.
Oh, okay. So I have them sitting at 5-3.
Yeah, we're close.
We are close. Uh, so they're gonna beat the Panthers. That's without a shadow of a doubt.
Mm.
And then,
This one's. I think this one is secretly tougher than we think it is. I think the Panthers might be close. They've got a quarterback now, and They
do
didn't have one last
they?
year. They probably do. They probably do. I think they probably do.
Do they?
And he's. I mean, there's a reason he was drafted before Richardson, right? So I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but we've seen Mr. Trubisky went before Pat
Yeah,
Mahomes.
that doesn't guarantee nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, C.J. Fields was the best quarterback in the draft, and we seen who picked him up. And that's why that team, the Texas team's going to get more wins than that Panthers team. But we'll talk about that a whole different time. Um,
Yeah,
I got the Colts, man. I'm
you
going with the
talked
Colts.
me into it. You talked me into it. Let's go
You
Colts.
talking me? Thomas, I'm going with the Colts, man. I'm doing it because they're going to lose to the Patriots next week. They're going to lose to the Patriots that week
Mm,
after.
mm. If this wasn't a rookie quarterback, if Anthony Richardson had 1 year under his belt, I
I
would
don't
be
know if
bold
that still
enough.
be enough for a Pro
I'd pick
Bowl
him.
Mac Jones.
I'd pick him over Mac Jones. Matter of fact, I'm in
Don't
the
do it.
spirit of being a
You'll
bold.
regret it. You're gonna regret it.
All right, I already got it written down. I'm not gonna. I'm
Uh,
not gonna change.
I'm not gonna- All right, Cole. So where I got you at now here?
I've
That's two
got
more
you at
wins.
6-4.
Yes, sir. I was
I'm
about to
ten
say
and
two
or
more
5-5.
wins. Okay. And moving on, you get to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's another game. Like I said, it's better than a bye week almost. Uh, the quarterback situation there is so
Yeah,
unsteady, and if these Colts rolling like the record suggests, dude, that's a 7-4 team leaving Tampa Bay.
yeah.
Or no, Tampa Bay leaving the Indianapolis. It's a home game too. I like the Colts. I like their defense too. Their defense is more than enough to stop that mediocre Buccaneer offense.
Yeah, but the Buccaneers have a lot of talented guys on offense. They just have zero, nothing at quarterback.
My
And
thing is,
it's
if you look trash with Brady in his last run, I
mm,
don't think moving on to to freaking Baker Mayfield
mm,
or who's the other dude, Sam Darnold,
yeah.
dude. Hey,
No, Sam Darnold's in for the 49ers.
oh, he's on four. So who? I don't even know who the other one was. I
It's
know it's
it's
Baker and
Trask
somebody.
and Baker.
You said Trash and who?
Baker.
Oh, okay, Trash and Baker.
Yeah,
So
I think it's like Trask or something,
trash.
but it's
He's
definitely
trash.
trash.
I'm
Yeah,
sure he's
it's
trash.
yeah.
No offense to you as a person, brother, but I'm sure you're trash. Um, yeah, dude, they're 7-4 on my books here, and then you move to play the Titans, and we've already agreed you're getting swept by the Colts Titans. So
Yep.
the Colts are 8-4 right now,
I've got them at 7-5, but
dude. It's pretty dangerous. They're looking pretty good. After that, you play the Cincinnati Bengals, and so more than likely you'll lose that game, but you could
yeah,
probably win that game, though, dude. I'm gonna
no,
be
no, yeah,
indifferent on it. I'm gonna give you the L here, but in all realities of reality, when I watch this game, I'm definitely gonna root so hard for y'all to win, because I think you can, dude. I don't think the Bengals' offensive line is trash. I think the Colts' defense is really that good, though. Like
the
they are.
defense is solid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think their defense is enough to make up in certain spots, dude. Because this ain't Matty Ice throwing the ball no more. You got a mobile quarterback, young, youthful energy. We're gonna see. The Bengals could lose that game, but I'm gonna pick them to win.
My problem is in today's NFL, it takes a lot for a defense to get me to pick them over a prolific offense. And the Colts don't have their defense is good, but it's not like some kind of Hall of Fame type defense or nothing
No,
like
it's
that.
not. But see, the thing is, the Colts defense are pretty effing good, dude. I would even go as far as to say that they're almost better than our defense.
No, I mean that doesn't. That's not a high bar to clear,
Right, what I'm saying, but we take care of the Bengals too.
right?
You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Well,
So
that's
yeah,
because defense ain't winning. We're talking offense, and if we're talking offense, give me the Bengals over the Colts.
true. Okay, but no, I still got the Colts losing that. So you're 8-5 right now, Colts. Moving into your next game, you got to play Kenny P and the Steelers, and you're gonna lose that game too. And I'm sorry
When
to say it like that. TBD.
give me the dub. Actually, you
Give me.
know what? I want to take that back. I'm gonna join you.
Like they're not gonna beat the Steelers.
They're not gonna beat the Steelers.
Year two, Kenny Pickett under Tomlin, dude. Like I said, year one, Kenny Pickett 9-8. Year two under the offense, more weapons now, settled it, dude. The Steelers are gonna be rolling again. Um, then the Colts, you play the Falcons. I believe I have you losing this game too. I think, yeah, I'm sure I picked the Falcons to win this game. So you kind of balance. You're almost at 500. You're
yeah,
8-7 right now. But luckily for you, you get to play two teams that are probably just walk off wins. You get to play the Las Vegas Raiders at the end of the year, who will more than likely be Jimmy G-less, and then you get to play the Texans right after, which will be a scrap fight. But you know you need that if you want to be in the playoffs. And I'm gonna give you the win, and you're gonna finish 10-7 right there.
yeah, and
You
I've
split
got
with the Texans for the season, win the last game to get you maybe in the offset 10-7.
yeah, and
Maybe.
I've got them right at 9-8, which is really kind of surprising, and that's why I wanted to look at their schedule. I was very optimistic with like 7 wins, to be honest with
Hmm.
you. Without looking at the schedule, I'm not going to lie to
I'm
Colts
surprised I made
fans.
it up to 10, dude.
Yeah, and I've feel a lot more comfortable at that 7 number. But when we break down a schedule and the numbers lie where they lie, and I can see this being a very close to 500 or above 500 team, which is a great thing. A lot of that depends on Anthony
And we
Richardson,
need
though.
to place your season bets now. I would do at least the over for 8 wins on the Colts.
Over on the 8. Mm.
For 8 wins, dude. I would give them over.
I'd give him the over of 6. I guarantee. I,
That
I
means
feel
they're
very
only 2 games
comfortable with
better
7.
than last year, dude. I think they're just off the moves they made, they're already 4 games better.
All right. Well, I'll give the over on 7. I'll say they get to at
Okay,
least.
7. I can meet you at 7.
Yeah.
Seven's
Yeah.
not too far off, but
Yeah.
dude,
I'd say I'd pick 8 over 7.
they're gonna be tough, dude. Because they were already tough. Like I said, they didn't really get blown out last year. They lost only a few games, and the only game that I know they really wish they shouldn't have lost is when they let Kirk Cousins come back on them. Greatest
Yeah.
comeback in history. But then again, like you said, when you got that quarterback who's drafted later on, got to show what he can do. You know, he knew that Netflix was watching. He said, I gotta come back.
We
Oh,
can't be
my
having
boy,
them out here.
dude, that Netflix series ain't gave me nothing but more motivation with my boy Kirk Thuggins, bro. I still
Mm.
mess with him. I still take him as a backup to Pat any day of the week.
Yeah, as a backup, I would not
I
want
said
him as.
backup to Pat.
Yeah.
Keyword was backup to
Yeah.
Pat.
My problem with Kirk Thuggins is I would absolutely would not want him as my quarterback. He's right there at that what I call like the Mendoza line of football quarterbacks. Good enough to win games, nowhere near good enough to win it all. He's not going to
I
be the
don't
guy to
know,
carry.
man.
He's not carrying a single team
If Trent
nowhere.
Dilfer can win a Super Bowl,
How long ago was that?
I know, but we've seen worse
That's
win Super Bowls.
that's back when defenses mattered and you could win a Super Bowl on a
I
defense.
mean, Peyton Manning won his last Super Bowl just off the name alone. He didn't even throw a
Like,
touchdown.
no, you need to put a little. He game managed that game just like you needed to.
Yawn. Just like just like he didn't score a first touchdown in the first Super Bowl they won either. I don't even think he got two. He ain't got no Super Bowl touchdowns.
I'm not sure. I mean, he might not. I wouldn't be
Dude, I'm
surprised.
like, or okay,
He's
I'm
not
saying,
Eli.
or in the losses maybe because I remember when the Seahawks
Yeah.
trashed them, and then who else trashed them? The Saints, dude. Good night. Anyway, whole nother story.
How do you lose to fucking Drew Brees?
Drew MF and
How do
Breed.
you
I keep
lose to
telling.
Sean Payton in a prime,
I
in a high, big situation? This is
I keep
playoffs.
telling you, dude,
Perfect time for Sean Payton to
because
be
you got
losing.
what I used to call Peyton Peanut Butter Throat Manning. He
Mm,
always choke on the stage. That's why I like Eli. Eli, he might be out there looking dumb, but he leaving it on the line. He
man,
beat Brady. Like I said, bro, he beat Brady twice and he cold, man. Can't nobody say nothing bad about Eli the man. Not to me.
not to me
You,
either.
better,
But
you know what I'm saying?
we're both Captain Eli's
I'm
over
trying to
here.
tell you, better stop playing. Put some respect on Eli Manning, man. Shout out to the Giants, Vanilla Vic. Well, anyway, whole nother story.
Well, I think we got just the one left, right?
Yes, we do.
Count my numbers,
The
right?
Texans.
Go Texans, and
Goodness
we've been
gracious.
dogging them all night.
Well, not dogging, man. You just got swept by the Colts. I mean, you split with the Colts. You're gonna probably sweep the Titans. And you got swept by the Jags. So you ain't really getting dogged. It's just two people in your division might have your number. So
Yeah, and
let's dive into it.
I think that the Texans, just like the Chiefs or the Colts, they played the Chiefs super duper hard
You know what
last
I'm
season. They
saying?
could have won that game.
That's what I'm saying.
But
They're secretly not bad, dude. They're not bad at all. And there's gonna be an upset game that they win
yeah, yeah,
for
absolutely. I
sure.
feel it too.
All right. So week one, Houston. Ooh, good night. You got to start off with the Ravens, and you're gonna lose that game. Uh, Big trust in the Ravens. Good night. Um, I got you losing to the Colts the first time around, like I just said. So you start off 0-2, bang, and then you start off 0-3 because you got to play the Jags.
Mm,
Goodness gracious. And then you start off 0-4 because you got to play the Steelers after that. And after that, the Falcons. Did I have the Falcons beating the Texans too?
I'm sure you did.
I think I did. Yep. Texans, you're going 0-5 right here. But
I'm
that
gonna give
Falcon
them.
game is the most interesting out the bunch. It's a game you could win.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give them that win. I'm gonna go first win of the season. Texans over Falcons.
Gotcha. Well, Texans, I got you on 5 right now. And that's not to say I'm not high on you because I love your quarterback. I love all the moves you made, but just like I said, looking at who you got to play. Dude, matter of fact, here comes your upset. You beat the Saints in week 50.
Mm,
You beat the Saints with whatever week 6. You go to 1-5 with a victory over the Saints. Hard fought grit tail win at home. You get the
mm,
Saints. Mr. KC, who you got?
mm. I'm gonna go Saints. That's an interesting one. That could be one of those highlights. Circle this one, underline it
Yeah, that's
because
because they ain't gonna
that's a
need it.
sneaky one.
They gonna need it. After that, you're gonna get another win. You get to play the Panthers. So you get a win streak started. You're 2-5. Mr. Casey doubled up on that, and then you play the Buccaneers, and like I said, you get that win too. So you're up to 3-5. You're on a 3-game win streak, and dude, you play the Cincinnati Bengals, and dude, you beat the Bengals. Fuck the Bengals. You going 4-5? What? Stop
uh,
playing, man. I got
I,
the Texans.
upset
Indy,
alert.
another upset, beating the Bengals because it could happen, dude. These Bengals, they lost to so many dudes last year, dude. Like I said, the Bengals gonna Bengal, and they usually tend to do it early in the season. So there ain't no reason in my mind I don't think the Texans could beat them. So Texans, you're now 4-5, and which is a blessing because you're on a 4-game streak to extend it to 5. You get better than the bye. You get to play the Cardinals the next week. You move to 5-5 before it comes all to a screeching halt at the Prince when he shows up to Texas, and you move to 5-6. Mr. KC, where you got them sitting right now?
I'm currently just right behind you at 4-7.
Okay, not too bad, not too bad. So this is gonna be pretty accurate, folks. After that, we got you moving on here to what they say, let's ride country, ride to this L. You're gonna beat the Broncos 6-6 for Houston for the Texans, dude. I'm
Yep.
not a Bronco believer. I'll never believe. Uh, the Jets. Now this game could be interesting too. Honestly, just because the deficits in the Jets' offensive line, even though their defense is pretty stacked, the skill position was pretty good. Is the Texans pass rush enough to get there to disrupt the game, to make it a competitive game? Because they got a lot of good skill players as well. So I'm gonna go with the Jets still.
Me too.
I'm gonna move them to 6-7. The Jets win the game, but I think it's a close one. I don't think you blow the Texans out.
I think the Jets might. I'd probably be comfortable with a 7-point spread preseason today.
Yeah, today speaking,
Yeah. This is a December 10th game,
right?
and the NFL is a tough sport.
Sticky
But
business.
yeah,
So I got you at 6-7 leaving this game, but don't fret. It looks like if I'm looking at this schedule right, uh, you're gonna win out. You get to play the
yeah.
Titans next. You move back to 7-7. Mr. KC, how you feel on that?
I think they're going to split with the Titans, and
They're gonna split with the Titans.
yeah, and probably lose that last game to the Colts.
Oh, so you got the Colts sweeping them and splitting with the Titans. I have it different. I have them sweeping the Titans and the Browns. They're going to beat and the Colts because I already picked the Colts to split with them. Like I said, they're going to win the first one and then lose the last one. So let me go ahead and add that on in. So let's see. You're at 10-7 Texans on the season,
You hit
right
10
there
and
with
7.
right there with the Colts.
Mm. I made it to 7-10. So we got a little far apart there. It started looking like
That's
one of
it. That,
those
that
match
last four.
uppers. Yeah,
That it's just because I don't know what made you have faith in the Titans all of a sudden to beat the Texans,
I just
especially
think it's
that
a
late in
split.
the year.
I think it's a split. I feel
I
good
think
about
the
it.
Titans are already going. They're so trash. They're not going to be better at the end of the year. They're going to be worse. So
That
with
could be
that in
very
mind,
factual.
with that in mind, Houston fans, I got you going 10-7. Worst case scenario, 9-8 for you. Which is still pretty good. It's unexpected. Rookie quarterback. This is happy times. This will be a lot for y'all to build on and to continue to nurse that thing down there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think 5 to 6 wins is probably a little more comfortable where I would have picked them pre-show, but I think 7-10 is a nice rebound year, and really, I would say that all of a sudden, this division doesn't look as trash as it did last year, last 5 years.
man,
Like if we're gonna be
we don't
completely
see the
honest.
complete just shift of one team. Well, I mean, we see one team running away with it, but
Yeah.
these other teams are closer than what we thought originally.
Well, they're starting to put out the dumpster fire, and that
Yeah.
is something that I'm okay with. I'm glad to see it come out of the AFC is
Because the
becoming
Texans don't have any
disgusting.
front office problems, and that's the reason why I'm still high. I'm
Mm-mm.
high on them too.
Mm.
They built a good team. They're building a good culture. They don't have any bad apples anymore. Like I said, that's the only thing that worries me with these other teams. The Titans, they need to dismantle that thing. The Colts, like I said, with Ursay being drunk and doing interviews, that's a whole nother story. But dude, between the Jags and the Texans, they're running a pretty clean ship, dude.
Yeah. I think it's. I'm really hyped on what the Jags are doing this year. There's been some disrespect put on their name that I think is kind of it's kind of shocking to see. It makes me wonder if we all watch the same games. Do
Man,
there's and it makes no sense to me because you can definitely watch that Chargers game. That Chargers game proved.
Dude, over the
I
last
was
9 weeks of the season, the Jags went 7-2. Trevor Lawrence was second in the NFL in passing and stuff, only behind Patrick Mahomes. Like, dude,
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Teacher Talking Sports is starting to tout that Dark Horse MVP chant along with you because, he's
mm,
seen it as well. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, not that he's going to win it. And I believe Teach even said the same thing.
right.
And make sure people check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Teacher
teacher talking
Talking
sports because he
Sports.
always be making sense.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. And I think even he was like, hey. And he's also on the Lamar Jackson's going to have a fantastic season train. And I'm with him there too.
Big trust. He got to. I keep telling the only team I worry about in the AFC when it comes to my Chiefs is the Ravens, dude. Because, dude, I still remember the game, dude. We were blowing these dudes out, and they just came right on back. Lamar did a flip into the end zone to win the game. It's bro. I never been so upset. These Ravens, when they're on, dude, they're almost unbeatable. They're like the juggernaut, dude. When they get to rolling, dude, it's hard to stop them. It's really hard.
It's unbelievable. It is a wild thing to see.
Dude, like I said, they the only team. Like I said, they the only team that should get the respect of being considered as far as worried about. I don't worry about the Bengals, as you know. Lord knows, everybody knows I don't worry about the Bills. Talking about Philip Rivers, get out of here. But between these Jags, the Ravens, I'd even go as far as to say the Chargers are more scary than Buffalo and the Bengals to me. Having to
Um,
play them because Patrick don't never really blow them out. He done beat us before. I mean, granted, just the one time, but it's just still though, like it's just something about when you play the Chargers, like just maybe because we just never blow them out is the reason. Like how we do everybody else in the
yeah.
AFC is the reason why I'd be like, okay, you
Well,
guys are always sticking around.
and Herbert's a top 10 quarterback. And
He's top
anytime
10
you, yeah,
for sure.
anytime you,
I got him at 6 or no 5. Yeah, I got him at 5. But yeah, he's definitely top 10.
I'd probably have him like 6, maybe 7. But
That's only because we're indifferent on Allen. I like him more. I think he's better than Allen.
yeah,
That's
you like it.
he's number 5 on my list.
Gotcha.
Literally,
That's
yeah.
not bad. And that's pretty spot on to about where most people would have him. I would think is somewhere in that range.
Man, but according unless you're one of them idiots at the NFL or even the people playing the game, dude, they have him as the 17th best quarterback in the NFL. They had him as the 96th best player. I said, are you kidding me? The
Well,
17th best quarterback in the NFL?
I
17th?
I was fine with some things, but there was when you looked at like the top 100 list when
Yeah,
they
that's what
put
I'm talking
Dak
about.
Prescott above him, I was like,
Good night,
this
dude.
is kind of a
When
bad list.
they had him and Tua. Oh, who
Yeah,
else was the other one there?
disrespected.
Bro,
Tua's got
disrespect,
a lot of disrespect on his name this
dude.
year.
Dude, he's got too much respect on his name, as far as I'm concerned. Too
Mm,
much, too
mm.
much, and that's why the Dolphins gonna end where they gonna end.
No, he's been doing kung fu.
I don't
I don't.
care,
I don't know
and
how that helps play football.
it don't,
It gets. I don't know how kung fu makes you better at getting hit by a 300-pound dude.
man.
And
Especially when you don't see it coming.
let me just say, as a veteran, I know a move or two. Okay, and I still don't want to get hit by some 300-pound man that runs a 4.4. But that's all
Man,
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. There's nothing that's gonna make that a nice experience.
no, you're right about that, but
And
we're
that's
gonna
one of the
see.
that's one of the problems with like the smaller frame quarterbacks. To be honest with you, it's a nervous place to be.
Oh yeah, especially when you're not used to getting smacked and hitting all that. They say he wasn't getting smacked like that in Alabama, and
Hmm.
then I mean he wasn't really too. We see the Tua thing. Like I said, I believe most of this Tua stuff is hype and benefiting off of what was a semi-easy schedule until they started playing the real ones and started getting smacked. I said
Well, they
barely made
didn't.
the playoffs.
They're gonna be there as soon as they have a quarterback all
Ah,
season. All season is what they needed. They were on fire until Tua got hurt, and then it was just they didn't have. And that's the only thing I'm disappointed in is they didn't invest in a high quality backup quarterback for him. So it's going to be if he gets injured, it's another wasted season of a very loaded roster.
Well, they still trash. I mean, they loaded to the brim, but they're trash.
We went 12-5, so I'm pretty
Huh?
sure I said I'm pretty sure I went 12-5 on him.
Yeah, that's
So
what I'm saying. I don't know how the heck you got the 12 wins when I couldn't even get them. What I got them at? I don't
I
think I
think it
even
was
had them
7.
getting four.
I think no, you went. I think it was 7.
I still got my AFC East note. Cause I man,
Yeah, if I remember right, it was like 7. You went 7 wins.
I think you giving me too much credit that I done gave to them.
Maybe it was 5-12.
I don't have it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video,
Right.
folks.
Right.
'Cause I don't have my note no more. I got too many notes. But all I do know is hold on. Oh, I found it. I got them at 5-12.
Yeah, I knew it was something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
five
knew
and
it was.
12.
I was hopeful on the 7, I think, but I think 5-12 is probably sounds about right for you. This is
Yeah,
about right where you got them.
yeah, and I think two of them wins is probably just extra. I had the Bills at 5. Oh yeah, because they tied with the Bills 5-12. Trash and trash. Because the Jets going 11-6 and the Pats 12-5.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot. Oh, you got
Oh
the Patriots
yeah.
win it again.
Oh
You
yeah.
cannot disappoint. Well, folks,
Gotta be bold, baby.
you got to be bold. That's all we know. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And this is really, this is the end of the what your team's going to do predictions. We hope you guys enjoyed the preseason series, and now we got to move on to the preseason,
Man,
and
and
or
we'll go
the,
from
the
there.
the real preseason, the singular preseason, and start taking a look at what these running or all these teams are going to be running. So it's
Yep.
interesting.
We're gonna take a real good look. Like I said, this thing is fluid. It's gonna flow. Things will change for sure.
Mm.
Injuries vary. Things will change. But right now, the absolute favorites to win the division, I don't think that will change, barring drastic injury. Um, I think we're in agreement, especially just talking about today's conversation, that the Jags are gonna win the South. I think we might just be indifferent on a few other divisions, but mainly where we see these people running away, they're running away with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I always like it when, like I said, we hit those same team picks.
Man,
Good night. Good
good
night,
night.
folks.
And good night. We'll catch y'all next time.
Yeah, yeah, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
Until the next week.
Till the next one.